Hi there, I am Lenka and I'm the one behind Happy Heartsy. This video is an additional tutorial for my Northern Flakes blanket pattern. For the exact number of stitches in each color, please follow the written pattern. The free link is in the description. If you ever need help, feel free to reach out. Your likes, comments, shares and feedback mean so much and really help my channel grow. If you'd like more crochet tutorials, don't forget to subscribe. Alright, now let's get started. Alright guys, so what you need for this blanket, so it's out of two colors. I picked the snowflake, not like a one plain blue, but this is the gradient flower, gradient color from Mary Maxim Prism, and yeah, I absolutely love this yarn, especially how gradient it is. So that's for the snowflake, and for the background I chose also from the Mary Maxim the best value, and it's acrylic yarn. It's super soft. Actually, I love to really work with this one, and the color is cottonwood. So that's what you need for the yarn, but of course you can choose any other different brand. It's definitely up to you. And then I use for this one 5mm hook for both of them. Then you will definitely need a yarn needle. Stitch marker is optional, but it can be handy, and then of course scissors. So this is for the material that you need for this pattern, and now let's talk about the style of this crochet work. Alright, so this is the graph, and for this I love to use actually double crochet stitch. So this entire pattern is in double crochet. I love it because it kind of works fast, because it's the double crochet. It's quite tall, and you can see that the one square basically, or the one rectangle, means one one double crochet. So yeah, then, and that's pretty much it. Then I will show you how to like carry the main yarn, which is the white one, or the main color that you choose for the background. So you will be carried for through the blue stitches for the snowflake, or for the entire pattern, and then so I will show you how to switch the yarn colors, how to also when you run out of the main color, or any color actually, how to make the invisible join or invisible knot actually. So I think that there's few tips that you can actually learn on the way, and yeah, that's everything that what you need to know. So it's in double crochet. You will be carried the color A, or the background color, through the blue stitches, and that's pretty much it. So now let's get started. Alright guys, so now let's start with two tips that are very handy for this crochet pattern. And because this entire pattern is in double crochet, I will show you how to make 2 rows of double crochet in a row. You can maybe do even more, but let's start with the 2. And once you know the technique, then maybe you can try more rows in a row. So I think it's actually faster way how to do it, and yeah, just a little bit different. So let's start with that. So now when you start the new row, you will make 4 chains instead of 2. So basically the first 2 chains is for the first double crochet. The second set of the 2 chains are for the second, for the another row of the double crochet. Then you will do yarn over, insert the hook into that second chain that you made. So you insert the hook there, then yarn over, pull up the loop. So you have 3 loops on your hook. Then you do yarn over again, and insert the hook into the next stitch, because those 2 chains, or the 4th, counts as a first double crochet of the row. So you do yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop. So now you should have 5 loops on your hook, and then do you yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, and this is what you repeat until you have only 1 loop on your hook. So now you can see that we did those 2 rows. Now the next stitch is pretty similar. So now you will do yarn over, and now you can see that the one diagonal string of the yarn right here, and then one here. So it basically makes like I don't know, I would say like a little V right here. So you will insert the hook right on that left side of the bar. So when you see it, you will not insert the hook right into that longer one, but right next to it. So you do yarn over, insert the hook right there, yarn over, pull up the loop. You have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and then you will insert the hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up the loop. Again, you have 5 loops on your hook, and then you do yarn over through the first 2 loops only until you get that 1 loop. So now you can see that how we are creating 2 rows of double crochet at once. So I feel it's pretty handy. So let me show you one more time. So again, you do yarn over, then you will insert the hook right next to the diagonal string here. Yarn over, pull up the loop, you have 3 loops on your hook, yarn over, and then insert the hook into the next stitch. Yarn over, pull up the loop, 5 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, and again and again and again until you have that 1 loop on your hook. So now you can see how we are doing the 2 rows of double crochet at once. I hope that you find it handy, which I actually do, because I think that it's a little bit faster, especially when you start with like 23 rows at the beginning and at the end of this pattern. So this is it, and now I'll show you another trick, and it's how to connect the same color of the yarn, because we use one yarn or one color of the yarn of the background, and you need quite a lot, and you will definitely run out of one skein. So let me show you how to connect the ends of the yarn so you don't have to weave in. Alright, so I got ready 2 different color of the yarns, but this technique is the best when you need to connect the same yarn color when you run out of the one and you need to attach the new one. So then you don't have to like weave in the ends. Otherwise, I have different technique for like how to join new yarn colors and how to switch it, which you will see in the next steps of this pattern. So now just for the reference for this tutorial, I have 2 different colors. So now it doesn't matter what end you will start with. So let's say I'll grab the blue one, and I'm just gonna make a simple single knot around the white yarn. So usual, like just the single knot. So as you see now, just around that white. Now I will grab that white yarn and I will make that single knot around those 2 strands. So not just the one, but 2. And again, it's gonna be just simple single knot, exactly how you can see now. You will tight the yarn, and now you have 2 knots that you will pull them together, and now you can safely cut those tails. There will be like a knot there, like this knot, but it won't be visible because it will hide very easily in the project. So now even if you tied really tight, then it doesn't untangle or anything. So I feel like this is another handy tip for this pattern because you will use it. So yeah, that's everything, and now let's see how to start this project, and I hope that you will have fun. Alright, and like I mentioned, this pattern is in double crochet, so we have actually 2 options how to start this blanket, and it's either with the foundation chain and the first row of double crochet separately, or you can do the foundation double crochet all together, the double crochet row like all at once. So which I would highly recommend to learn, or at least give it a try, because it's actually very convenient, which I will be talking about it once I gonna get to that part. So now I'll show you how to do the foundation chain and the first row separately. If you know this step, of course you can just skip next 2 parts, and yeah, just go to the video or to the step that you need to help. Alright, so now let's start with the foundation chain and the double crochet row separately. Alright, and for this tutorial, just for this beginning, I will just make it shorter. So with the foundation chain, we have to start with the slip knot, and the foundation chain you have to do yarn over, pull up the loop, through the loop, yarn over, pull up the loop, and this is your foundation chains. So now you have to do whatever the pattern says. So I will just make a few. It doesn't matter if it's odd or even number for this part, just for me showing you. Otherwise you have to follow the instructions on the pattern, which you can visit on my blog happyheartsy.com. so this is where you can find it. The link is in the description. So let's say that this is my foundation chains, and let's say this is the number that I need. And now let's do the first double crochet. So how we do it, we have to do the yarn over and insert the hook into the third chain from the hook. So now some crocheters, they like to insert the hook into the fourth one, and those skipped 3 chains counts as a first double crochet, but I rather do it like just the 2 skipped chains. So I'll insert the hook into the third one, so those 2 chains skipped counts as a first double crochet. And I love it this way because then the gap between the first stitch and the second one is it's a less gap. There's no gap. Otherwise with the 3 chains I feel like there's a bigger gap. So it's just like a little tiny detail. You do whatever you prefer. So now let's do yarn over, insert the hook into the third chain. Also, the loop on our hook, this first one, doesn't count as a chain, but whatever is below. And also one more tiny detail, what I like to do, I like to prefer, is that I insert the hook into the foundation chain into the back of it. So when you see the foundation chain from the top, you can see the 2 loops, like the V shapes, and this is your top, and when you turn it, you can see the bumps behind it. So one bump is 1 chain, and this is where I insert the hook. But again, it's not wrong or right, it's just about a preparation, so you can do whatever you'd like. So now again, into the third chain from the hook, we insert the hook, you do yarn over, pull up the loop, and we have 3 loops on our hook. Yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the remaining 2 loops. Now it would be actually handy to bring the stitch marker, if you're not sure, and put it into the top second chain of the first thing that we skipped, so the top second chain, because that counts as a stitch. So, and it's very forgettable actually, you can easily miss it once you're at the end of the second row. It's easily missed to make this stitch, and for this graphghan it's very important to have the right numbers of the stitches in the certain colors, because then it can mess up all the project. So just it's gonna be lots of counting, but it's fun once you get a hand of it. So I would put the stitch marker at least for the beginning. So now we have basically 2 stitches of the first row. So now we continue with the double crochet. So we do yarn over, insert the hook into the next chain, yarn over, pull up the loop. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the remaining 2 loops. And that's your double crochet, and this is what you repeat, or I mean what you continue all across the row or the foundation chain. Alright, so this is my first row of the double crochet, and then at the end for the entire project you will always make the chain 2, which counts as a first double crochet for the following row, and then you will just continue. And because this is the first stitch, then you will start making your actual double crochet stitch into the second stitch from the previous row. So now you will just insert the hook into the next stitch and continue. I would also just recommend to recount the rows at least at the beginning, just to make sure that you have the right number of the stitches that you need. So this is a tutorial for the foundation chain and the double crochet row separately, and in the next one, if you want to give it a try, I'll show you how to make the foundation double crochet row all at once. Alright, so now let's start with the double crochet row all at once. So again, we have to start with the slip knot, and now we're gonna make chain 3. So now we have 3 chains, and now we're gonna do yarn over, and we will insert the hook into the first chain, do yarn over, pull up the loop, and we have 3 loops on our hook. Now, so when you do it the first row all at once, you basically start with making the foundation chain, and then you will make your double crochet stitch. So now we do yarn over and pull up the loop through the first loop only. I'm usually saying it that we make just the chain 1 and that's your foundation chain. And now you have 3 loops on your hook, which is your basically steps for the double crochet stitch. So what you're gonna do, you do yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the remaining 2 loops. So now you can see how we have that second stitch. Also, what I would recommend, at least for the beginning, to insert the stitch marker into that second chain but that we skipped, because we skipped 2 chains. That counts as a first double crochet, and I would insert the stitch marker into that top second chain, and that's the stitch that you will be working into at the end of the second row. It's very important because it's very you can forget it to make the last stitch into this stitch very easily. And for the graphghans, it's very important to have your numbers correctly. So that's I would recommend, at least for the beginning. Then you will recognize it very easily. But at the beginning, I would use the stitch marker just not to miss that stitch. So now let's continue with that double crochet row. So again, you always have to do yarn over, insert the hook into that chain 1 that we just created. So we have to insert the hook right there. You do yarn over, pull up the loop. You can also notice that I usually keep my thumb over those 2 loops because we don't need it now. And then I do the chain 1, which we just basically created the foundation chain. And now we have 3 loops. So now we are finishing the double crochet. So you do yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the remaining 2 loops. So now again, you do yarn over, insert the hook into that chain 1 or that foundation chain that we created, yarn over, pull up the loop. Now you have to first do the chain 1 or that foundation chain, and then you finish your double crochet. So again, yarn over, insert the hook into that chain, the chain 1 that we made, yarn over, pull up the loop. We created another one. We have 3 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, yarn over, pull up the loop through the remaining 2 loops. And now you can also see that we are doing that the double crochet row vertically. So when you put it like, the sideways, now you can see the tail here and the stitches right here, how we are creating that first row of the double crochet right away. So with the chain 1, we make that foundation chain, and above is the double crochet. So let's make a few more. So you do yarn over, insert the hook into the last created chain 1, create the chain 1, and then continue with the double crochet. So this is what you continue for the stitches that you need. And I will also talk about the benefits of this technique. Alright, and the benefits are that I feel like when you do the first double crochet row all at once, it's like a stretchier. You can feel that when you do the foundation chain and the first row separately, it's the bottom is a little bit tighter, and it's because of the foundation chain. So that would be like a one kind of benefit of it. And then what I actually like that if you would miscount your foundation chains, and then you would start your first row separately, and then it's you, let's say, miscalculated the foundation chains, the numbers. So then it's pretty, if you would need to let's say reduce your stitches, you basically have to start all over. So you have to like frog all entire the row and the foundation chains and start over. And especially when you do blankets, you typically with the high number of the stitches. So it's pretty annoying. So with this one, you can easily, because you already made your first row, you can easily reduce the stitches as many as you need. And then your first row is still like finished, so you don't have to start all over. And that applies also when you need to add more stitches. So let's say that you need more, so you will just easily continue to make your as many stitches as you need. So that's, I guess, the main benefits of it, that you don't have to start like all over. And I think it is pretty handy, especially for the bigger projects like this blanket. So I hope that it all makes sense. And now let's start, like say, the second row, and it's gonna be pretty easy. So after every row, because the pattern is entire in double crochet, you will make chain 2, which counts as a first double crochet. Then you will turn the project, and then you will continue double crochet across like a through the each stitch. So again, because those two chains skip, or two chains counts as a first double crochet, you will insert your hook into that second stitch from the hook, from the previous row, not this one, because we already made basically the first stitch. And right into the next stitch we make our double crochet, and then this is what we continue until we reach the snowflake, but I will show you in the next part. So this is what you continue. Also, I would highly recommend, once you skip those two chains, in the top second chain, I would again highly recommend to insert another like a stitch marker, because once you're at the end of the third row, again, it can be very easily to miss the stitch, and it would throw totally, it would be, yeah, you would have problems then to catch up with the snowflake and stuff. So this is it. I hope it makes sense. And in the next part, let's start with the 24th row, which we start to crochet the snowflake. Alright guys, so now I am at my 24th row, and now it's gonna be now it's time to change the colors and carry the background color, which is this color A. So now what I'm gonna do, so now I'm about to make my last double crochet. So we're gonna insert the hook. We have 3 loops on our hook, yarn over, pull up the loop through the first 2 loops, and now it's time to change the colors. So you will not finish your double crochet, but you will leave your 2 loops, okay, the last step basically, you will leave it on your hook. You take you take your new yarn and put it around your hook like this and pull through. So you will finish the double crochet with the new yarn color. I would leave a little longer tail, so then you will weave in later. And now you will just continue with your new yarn color, and now I can see that it's 2 stitches with this blue color, and we will be also carrying this main color always through every blue stitches. And then when it's between the, like in the snowflakes, so you can also see that there will be some stitches with the background color. So then we will be carrying the same way as we're gonna do it now with this blue. So I'll show you once we get there. So now let's keep this background color right like at the top of the previous row, so we will be working around it. So now we joined our colors, so now we just continue with the double crochet. So yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, and then you can see that I also keep there that yarn. So this is how we carry it, and we just work around. So now this is my first double crochet, and now we're gonna do the second one. But again, because this is the last stitch with this color, so what I'm gonna do, I will just again will not finish the double crochet. So this is the last step. Instead, I will put my color B, or this blue color, behind, and instead I will grab this color A, the background color. Also, if we're gonna make, well, or once we're gonna make more stitches, I would suggest to a little bit like a pull this yarn. So because sometimes from the back you would see that sometimes it's like a kind of popping up, so you just want to have it nice and hidden. So that's just like what I would recommend, to always like straighten it a little bit, and then you just put the yarn around your hook and pull through too. So now you can see that we just switch the yarn colors, and now I will just continue until the end of the row with this color A, and then I'll show you once we go once we're gonna be in the next row. Then I'll just show you how to, when let's say you have to start like earlier, but it's basically the same, exactly the same way. But I'll see you in the next part how we're gonna do the second row with this blue color. All right, so now I'm at the 25th row, and now let's go to the second row of this of the snowflake. So now I'm about to make my last double crochet. So again, I will just create the one step, and until I have the last step to do. So I will not finish it. I will keep my 2 loops on my hook, and now it's actually easy because this is your yarn that we kept attached. So now we just simply, even though that we have that one stitch here, we just put it around your hook, around our hook, and just pull through. Make it a little loose, so then you will be working around this this string or this yarn. So now what we're gonna do, we just gonna keep this background color right at the top of the previous row, so we will be working around it. And now we're gonna be also working around this blue yarn, and then also around the next stitch. So let me show you. So we have connected our blue yarn, and now we just insert the hook into the next stitch, which is still the white stitch from the previous row. And now you can see that I kept my background color here, and also this is that strand, the blue strand, so we also working around that and just finishing our regular double crochet. So now it looks like this, and now we're gonna make another stitch. And what I like to do, I also like to go under that string and then insert the hook into the next stitch. So again, I will be working around that blue strand and the white strand. So again, I'll just make my second double crochet, and I know that we should make 4, so this is the third, and this is the last one, which means that again we will not finish that. Again, you could see that I straightened that white color because I know that in the back it would pop up. So always make sure that it's like a nicely tight, but not too tight because you don't want to have it like scrunched, right? So it has to be nice and loose. And now I will just switch the color. So I put my blue color in the behind the project, and instead I'll put around my hook the white color and pull through. And now we just continue. We're gonna keep that blue yarn right here. We won't be carrying it anymore, and then we again just continue with the double crochet until the end of the row with this color A. And this is how it looks. So we won't even see, we don't see the white color through it, and it's actually nicely hidden there. So now the next row is basically, or the next couple of rows, they are just the increasing. So you're gonna be starting exactly the same way. And once we start to making less blue stitches, I will be right here in the next part. I don't know what the so for the next rows I will be back, and it's basically pretty much what you need to know for the graphghans. So let me just go back once we start to increasing the blue stitches, and now you will be doing the same way for the few next rows. Alright guys, so now I'm at the 28th row, and now I'm just about to make my last double crochet in color A. And we have to do it because now we are decreasing the blue stitches, or the whatever color you picked. So what we have to decreasing now, so we have to make that stitch with the color A into the blue stitch from the previous row. So now it doesn't matter, let's say, even if you would keep going with your color A for the few stitches more, and let's say you would have to connect your blue one in the middle. You always have to start whenever you start the stitch here. And I mean start is that you have to go basically around that stitch, and you would have to carry this blue yarn through the stitches, okay, how many you need until you have to switch for that blue, for the blue color. Because if you wouldn't do it, then if you would, let's say, start here, then you would see the strand here, the yarn, and it wouldn't look pretty. So now what we're gonna do, I have to do yarn over. I will put this blue around the first blue stitch from the previous row like that, and I'll be working around it. So it's basically like the same way that we carried the color A through the blue stitches. Now we have to carry the blue yarn through the white stitches, or the color A stitches. So now I'm just not gonna finish the double crochet because now we do have only one stitch in this. But even though, let's say now just for example, even though that if I would have to start the blue stitch like I mentioned before in the middle, I would just keep doing it. I would still start, or I would still put, or I would still work around this strand right at the beginning here. So no matter where you start your blue stitches, you have to like make that you know, to put it around the first blue stitch from the previous row. I hope it makes sense. Yeah, let me just actually, you know what, let me do it again, the last double crochet, because it's only one into the first blue stitch from the previous row. So that means that I will not finish it. So instead, I will just switch the colors, now put the blue around the hook and finish that the double crochet. And now we are switching it, so now we will be carrying the color A through the blue stitches. So now we just continue. Again, I'll keep that white yarn right at the bottom or at the top of from the previous row and make the stitches that I need. So let me finish it, and it's right here. Now I will be switching it again, and now I just want to show you that now you can see how the yarn, the white yarn, is popping up even from the back. So I have to just pull it a little bit, so then it's nicely like hidden. And again, I will not finish my last blue stitch, but instead I will just put my white yarn around the hook and pull through. So I just finished that stitch. And now, because I don't have any blue stitches for this round, so I just keep my blue yarn behind and continue with my white stitches for the rest of the row. So this is for this row. And then let's see, this is for the increasing, decreasing. Of course, that when you're increasing, and again, you would have to start like a way sooner than just about one stitch that we did here. Again, you just would have to take that yarn like all across basically here, even up to here, whatever you would need, and then you would just work around the blue stitches of the blue strand here until like whatever the pattern says. But I'm sure that we will get to the point in this pattern, so I will actually show you. So now this is what you need to know, the increasing, decreasing of the blue stitches. This is just about one stitches, so it's pretty easy, but in this pattern we will bump into the situations that we will have to start the blue stitches way sooner or even later. So I will show you those steps just to be like sure that you're doing everything right. So far it looks like this. I hope that you I have fun. I think it's pretty easy because it's just in double crochet, and let's see you in the next part. Alright guys, and now in the row 32, so now there will be lots of switching the colors. So now I show you how you will be carrying it both the colors. So now I'm just about to make my last double crochet in the color A. So again, I will not finish it, and it basically is exactly the same as we did before, but now you can see it more clearly because now I will drag that blue yarn or color B all the way here. There will be some moments that it will be like a bigger gap, but let's say that from here you would have to drag the yarn, let's say until here. I don't know how many stitches would it be, but then maybe it would be worth it to just like cut the yarn and like join the new yarn somewhere. But I will show you once we get to that point. But this is actually pretty still not too like a long distance from it, so I would just keep it there. And now like here we just did it over like a one stitch, so now you will see it how we will be working around those two strands. So now we have to make 3 stitches in this blue, so we do 1, and again you can see that the blue and the color A is right here, so we will be work around it. So this is second, and now this is the 3rd stitch. Now I will switch, so I will simply just put this yarn strand right here. I will grab the white one and pull through. Now I have 3 stitches with this color A, and now I will be working around this strand and the blue blue yarn. So I will just work around this. So it's 1, 2, and 3. And again, this is my last stitch in color A, so I will not finish it. Instead, I will just switch it. Now I will make 2 stitches in this color B. Again, this is my second one, so I will not finish it. Instead, I will grab the color A, pull through, and now I will make, and now I will just simply, yeah, again, making stitches around this blue color. So it's 1, 2, and 3. Again, I will not finish it. Instead, I'll grab the blue one, and now I have my last 3 stitches with the blue yarn. So this is the last one. I will just put it in a bag, and now this is my last stitch with the blue. So now I will just keep it there, keep it behind the project, the blue yarn, and I will just continue for the rest of the row with my color A. And then I'll go back and I will follow the patterns or like the number of the stitches, how many I should do in the certain color. So this is what you basically repeat until whatever the next point is. So now you can see that we are getting the shape of the snowflake. So now let's see what's the next part. Alright guys, so now I'm at the 38th row and I just want to see how it looks so far. So I absolutely love it how it's turning out. And now you can see that there's a big gap like from here or from this blue, the last row with the blue stitches. And now I have to just do like 3 more stitches here. And then I have to connect my blue yarn or my color B. So what I would do in this case, because it's really like a long, it's like a over 20 stitches like between, so I wouldn't drag it. Instead, what I would do, I would just simply cut the yarn right here. So this tail we will weave in later, and here I would just join the new yarn, I mean the same tail or the same end, because I have the gradient blue color, so I just want to keep it like as I would actually use it. So then I would just connect the yarn like right away, like I mean again. So we have just a few tails for this one, and now actually and now that's yeah, that's everything. And now you will be just again making your you will be carrying your color A, color B, even though that now after I finish this, let me just do 3 more stitches, that because now we start with the 6 stitches with the blue yarn. So now this is my last in the blue, and now I will switch the colors. So I will just put my yarn A. So even though that it's basically long tail, I would still carry the blue yarn. So I would still carry the blue yarn through the white stitches and the white stitches through the blue stitches. I hope it makes sense, but just here I wouldn't just drag it all the way here and then all the way back again. So that's why I cut the yarn here and I joined the yarn like again like right at this place, and now I would just keep carrying the yarn, because even if I would, let's say, cut the yarn here, I would have to do a little bit longer tail to, you know, to make enough to weave in the and secure the yarn, and then I would have to again, if I would join the new yarn color right here, I would have to again do it. So we basically still save the yarn, like it wouldn't, it won yeah, because of the tails would be longer than even like this this distance. So I hope it makes sense a little bit, but of course it's up to you. If you have like your own techniques or whatever you prefer that works for you the best, then just do it. This is just my suggestion how I would do it in this case. And yeah, that's everything for now. And if something would pop up, I would definitely make more like steps how to do it. But so far, this is everything what yeah, what pops up in this pattern so far. So I hope that you have fun, and let's see what yeah, what will be in the next part. Alright guys, so now you can see that I am kind of behind the half of the snowflake already, because I didn't bump into any situation that you would need to know, because I already showed you. So this is how it looks so far. I hope that you enjoy that. I think that it works pretty fast, especially because it's in double crochet, so it's actually very easy. I hope that you master by now the switching colors and carrying the yarn. So that's basically everything what you need to know. Of course, that the pattern again is in the description, so feel free to have a look, visit my blog, and yeah, that's everything. And then I will show you how it's done, and then we're gonna start the border. Alright guys, so now let's start with the border, and I will start right in the corner, and I will start with the long side first, so I can show you how it's done here, because we will be doing like a picot border, so it's out of single crochets and chains. So here, because you can see the stitches nicely like at the short side of the blanket, because this is our last row or the first row. And you will know exactly where to insert the hook, because it's nicely visible, the stitches on the sideways not so much, but you have to just insert the hook evenly next to each other wherever it makes sense. So I don't have any specific number for this, but I'll show you right away what I mean, and I'm sure it's gonna be easy and understandable. So now you just insert the hook into the corner. You just grab your color of your snowflake, and you will put it around your hook and pull through. You do chain one, which is only as a like a joining the color, and then into the same one you will insert the hook right away again. Yarn over, pull up the loop. You have 2 loops on your hook. Yarn over, pull up the loop through the 2 loops, and now you just made your single crochet. For the picot border, then into the next stitch, or I don't want to say stitch because it's the end of the border, but basically it is. So into the next one, right where it makes sense, so I know that I insert the hook here, so then it's gonna be right here. Insert the hook and make another single crochet, and now you will make chain 3, and into the first chain you will make a slip stitch. So you will insert the hook, yarn over, pull up the loop, and with the same loop you pull through the other loop, and then you will make your the next single crochet into the next stitch, so again wherever it makes sense, and then you will make again single crochet into the next stitch again, and then you will make chain 3, slip stitch into the first chain, and 2 single crochets in the next 2 stitches. So this is what you do all around the your border, and you can see the texture, so you can see how it's like popping up the three chains, and I feel that it fits nicely, because it kind of gives me the nice vibe of like, not like a snowflakes, but it won't be like that smooth, so it's gonna have the little texture of it. So now I made my 2 single crochets, so now it's turn for the chain 3, insert the hook into the first chain, make a slip stitch, and then 2 single crochets into the next 2 stitches, and then chain 3, slip stitch into the first chain, and 2 single crochets within the next 2 stitches. So this is how it looks, so you can see how it makes that nice, again, the texture, which I think it fits perfectly for the snowflake. And yeah, once you're done, you will just make a slip stitch right into that first stitch that you make the single crochet, and your snowflake blanket will be done. So I hope it makes sense when it comes to the border, and I will show you the whole blanket at the end. Alright guys, so I finished the blanket. This is the border that I did. I feel like it really fits well to the snowflake graph in the middle of this blanket. So this is how it looks, and this is the snowflake. You can also see more pictures how it looks. So yeah, that's everything that you need to know for this pattern. I hope that you enjoy it, and yeah, that's everything. Thank you so much for watching, and happy crocheting.